This is Kilo, and today we're going to talk about Lishi picks, specifically the KW1 version for quickset locks. I recently did a video where we pick and decode a master number 3 padlock and code cut a key for it using the M1 MS2 version of this pick. If you'd like to check that out first, feel free to click this link here and check that out. Ever since I made that video, I've received an overwhelming amount of messages about doing more Lishi pick videos. It's one of our more popular videos on the channel so far, and recently a subscriber, Kevin, commented asking if I could do a video on this pick for the quickset lock. So we're going to go ahead and check that out. If you haven't already checked out the master lock video, I'll briefly go over the design here of a Lishi. Every Lishi pick is designed with what mimics a key blink of the keyway you're about to attack. In this case, this mimics a KW1 blink for quickset. Inside, they have hollowed out the key blink to allow for this little rail to be formed for your lockpick to fit into. This is what makes this superior to other lockpicks, as it fits in perfectly, meaning that you do not have to worry about, angling your lockpick in any way or trying to get around warding, as it just rests in there all on its own. And it really helps with your tension, as you don't have to force it so much, as this perfectly fits the keyway, and you basically put about as much tension as you would when you turn your key. So because of that, this really eliminates a lot of the challenge in lock picking. Now, if we open this arm here, this doubles as your tension tool. You will see all of these numbers and lines here. Each one of these numbers here on the right represent a depth. This comes in later, after we've already picked the lock. These numbers up here on top represent the chambers for all 5 of the pins inside of the lock. So this really takes all the guesswork out of where you are at in the lock. So you will know this way that you are on pin number 1, pin number 2, and if you're not on the pin, you'll see it. This little spike here is your indicator. It's like a little needle that sticks out just above the arm. So this is what indicates your position inside of the cylinder. Now, because of all of this, the spacing, the shape of the key, the rail here, this really eliminates a lot of the skill in picking. Now, I remember I said this in the first video, and a couple of you said that you purchased this and you were still having trouble, so it wasn't as easy as I made it out to seem. So I will say this eliminates much of the learning curve to lock picking. And hopefully in this video I can show you a little more on maybe where you're struggling. One of the biggest questions I got was, how do I make the Lishi pick fit? So many of you, I guess, are having trouble fitting the Lishi into the keyway. Now, if you are having trouble, most likely it's because your pick is sticking up slightly. Or even if you've already had it, all the way down, like in the previous video where I showed you to raise this end of the pick to lower your pick inside the rail here, as you go to put it in, sometimes it can fall down, and you see how it's keeping me from pushing in. Sometimes, you might have a really low pin in the beginning or anywhere through the lock, and if you're halfway through and you're not, moving your pick in all the way, it could be hanging up on a pin. So make sure that you kind of keep your, you could even kind of hold this up like so as you slide the pick in. You want to make sure that it slides in all the way to the shoulder. So I'll zoom in here so we can see what's happening. But that was something that you all wanted me to address. I haven't had issues trying to insert a Lishi pick, but that's where I can see a problem happening. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and apply some tension, and we're going to go ahead and just start picking. So I'll start on chamber 1, We got a click out of 1, small click out of 2, little click out of 3, click out of 4, nothing on 5, nothing on 1, 2 seems set, and 3, and we have it picked over. So from here, I'll go ahead and lean it back a little bit. We've now picked over the cylinder. Now we have to decode our lock. So the way that this works, as long as you have the lock turned over, you will go ahead and pull out the pick to the first chamber here, and you'll let it drop until it reaches a depth. In this case, it comes up to a 2. So it's telling me that chamber 1 is a 2 cut. We'll go to the next chamber, pin 2, and let him drop. He stops at a 3. If we follow, I'll use this tension tool to kind of show you, the needle here follows this line to the depth. This is telling me that pin number 2 is a 3. We will go to pin number 3, let him drop, and he also falls to a 3. Pin number 4, he is a 5, and pin number 5 comes down to a 1. So we have 2, 3, 3, 5, 1. And all we would have to do is head out to our code machine, like in video number 8, and we would normally code cut one. I do have the factory key here, which has the stamp already on it of 23351. So we know that this now, fits perfectly, and it works, it turns over. So just to show you guys, this is an amazing tool, and it's very dangerous in the wrong hands. However, most people purchasing this are hobbyists or locksmiths. In the first video, I did say that only locksmiths could purchase these. It was brought to my attention afterward that there are now aftermarket websites that you can purchase these for roughly between $70 and $100. So while it is now, available to the public, it is a hefty price. So a common thief or a burglar is really not going to go out and spend $70 to $100 on every single pick. Mostly because even if, let's say they buy the KW1 and they show up and you have a, SC1 keyway, maybe you have an SC4 keyway or an SC9, or, there's so many options that it's really a gamble. While Kwikset is probably the most common in North America here, it's still a gamble, as they would have to purchase every single one, and being an opportunistic thief, they probably do not have a ton of money on hand just to buy these picks, as if they had that kind of money, they wouldn't be trying to break into your home. So I also wanted just to note that for you guys. But that's really all there is to this video. I hope this one helped you guys. I hope this is what you were looking for. If you have more questions, feel free to comment below, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. And as always, stay safe, stay legal, and have a nice day.